What's going on, people, man? We're back here with another video, man. Today we're back here doing the benchmarks for the Acer Nitro 5 GTX 1650 benchmark for gaming. You guys been asking me in the comments do some testing for some games. I was able to test out 3 for you guys. The next 3 will be PUBG, Tom Clancy Rainbow Six Siege, and possibly Overwatch or Battlefield 5. It depends on y'all which one you guys want me to test out. But the main 3 games I wanted to test out was Fortnite, Apex Legends, and also CSGO. And I actually had a little bit of fun. A little disclaimer: while doing the ballistic overkill during my impressions video, I was using a keyboard. I was using a controller, not a keyboard and mouse, but I will explain later in the video. So first things first, let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and talk about Fortnite. This is the latest drivers I have on my laptop. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. So the low settings, the highest it ever was 120 up to 130 frames per second on low settings. On medium settings, the high was 100, and the average would be in at least around 80 frames per second. And on high and epic I think on epic settings, I was getting roughly around 80 frames per second, 60 to 80 frames per second on epic settings. I think we're getting around 90 for high settings. Now, little disclaimer, like I said, especially games like this, and I think also CSGO, you never can really get a consistent frame rate, or at least a lock. It's always jumping all over the place, at least about 20 or at least about 10. So it's really kind of hard to determine which frame rate you're actually going to get with this game. But I believe this is probably one of the best. I can't remember if it was actually on par with my desktop, but I remember my desktop kind of getting a little bit of similar spec, if I'm correct. But I'm about to recheck it again. But those are the frame rates for that. I have the temperatures right here, and I believe this is the only temperatures I was actually I actually recorded. I was getting 85 degrees for the CPU and 77 degrees for the GPU. It did actually run a little bit kind of hot. The keyboard was kind of warm a little bit, but it didn't after I was using a controller anyway, but it was kind of warm. Like I mentioned to you guys earlier in the video, the vents, the fans are on the side of the laptop. It's already bad enough that the charger is already on the side of the laptop in the middle. So when I was playing, I can feel the heat coming from the vents, and they were just eating my hands alive. So that can be a little problem for some of you guys. This may actually turn some of you guys away from the laptop, is that the vents are also on the side. My Alienware had their vents in the back, so I didn't have that issue while gaming or at least surfing the web or whatever. But the vents was on the side, and they were just coming eating my ass alive. Next game we're going to be talking about is Apex Legends. This is the only game out of the 3 I can say I was getting at least a consistent frame rate or very close to it. It wasn't jumping all over the place, and if it did, it would just drop by 5 and it would just jump back to regular. On high settings, using 4 gigabytes of VRAM, I was getting up to 65 frames per second on the highest settings possible. So that is actually very impressive. I really play Apex Legends on my console, so this is my first time ever experiencing it on the PC. So it was getting 65 frames per second. I believe if you crank it down a little bit more, you can get a little bit more performance out of it. I did not overclock my laptop, by the way, at all. Now, we're going to CSGO, which is a game that really isn't high demand when it comes to game performance. You don't have to have a beast-ass PC to even play it. You can play it on low settings and still have a very, very good time. Another thing you must want to consider, if you're playing a FPS game or a third-person shooter, frame rate is key, because you want to sacrifice your frame rate for resolution. Sacrifice your resolution for frame rate. This laptop also has a 60 Hz display, so if you're getting over 100 frames per second, it's kind of really pointless because you're not going to see it or feel it. So it's okay. It's nice to have it, but if you're not going to hook it up to an external monitor that has 120 Hz or 144 Hz display, it's kind of pointless to get these high frame rates. So now we're headed to CSGO. This is actually a game that I will be playing mostly because it's not on the console, so this is a PC exclusive for me that I will be playing. So the highest I was getting was up to 175 frames per second on the highest settings, and the average it was 95, but it rarely did dip below 100 frames per second. So if you want to get more performance, obviously drop the settings just a little bit, and you can possibly almost hit crank. You can not almost crank. You can basically almost get almost 200 frames per second. But like I mentioned to you guys earlier, if you don't have a 120 Hz display or 144 Hz display, it's kind of pointless to get those high frame rates. So hope you guys enjoy the testing. I hope you guys have a blessed day. Please name the next 3 games you guys want me to do. If you guys want me to purchase some more games, I can do that. Assassin's Creed Origins. If you guys want me to purchase that, I'll probably just return it after I buy it because I already have it on console. So, hope you guys have a blessed day. Subscribe if you're new. Please share the video. It helps a lot. So y'all let them out. Peace.